Okay, Netivot Shalom. So, Parashat Naso, page Lamed. So, one of the topics is Birkat Kohanim, especially for you, Mordechai. מדבר אל אהרון ואל בניו, right? Speak to Aaron and his son. כה תברכו בני ישראל, לאמור להם בברך אחד בשם וישמרך, ירא השם פניו אליך ויחונקה, right? יישא השם פניו אליך ותעשו שלום. By the way, something very nice that I always keep in mind to have a kavana when I hear Birkat Kohanim, the differences between the three brachot. So Yevachecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, Hashem will bless you and Hashem will keep you. You have a kavana, and this is mean that what you have is what you have, and Hashem will bless what you have, and it will protect it. So nobody will steal anything from you, etc. Ye'er Hashem panav elecha v'yichuneka, it means that Hashem will give you more things. More things, He will add to it. And Isa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, Hashem is adding like an extra thing that you're not supposed even to get them. So they're like the kavanot that we can do during the Birkat Kohanim. Of course, it's on a spiritual thing, but it's also on the Gashmiut thing. So he said, Yesh levaer inyan Birkat Kohanim. We should explain the Birkat of the Kohanim. What is the meaning of it, of this bracha? She'amidebarech, the one that is being blessed, eno zakai ledavar mitzad atzmo, is not having the merit to gain that thing, right? It's not that we, Hashem owe us, right? We're entitled, right? We are blessed, but we're not supposed to have it. And even though, or nevertheless, he's still getting it from the strength of the bracha. Another explanation, the nosach, asher kideshanu begidushato shel Aharon, that Hashem, right? The Kohanim, they're saying that, right? That Hashem sanctified them with the kedusha of Aaron, and He commanded us to bless His people, right? Israel, with love. Which is not like the other mitzvot. When we have a bracha, you said, Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, Hashem sanctifies with His mitzvot. But here is Hashem sanctified us, right? The Kohanim and the kedusha of Aaron. So why did it determine to mention in the bracha the kedusha of Aaron? And also when it says to bless et amo Israel be'ahava, the nation of Israel with love. Because if the Birkat Kohanim should be with love, as it says in the Dor HaKadosh, right? Kol kohen deha lo rachim le'ameh, or ameh lo rachim le, lo yifros yadoi. Any kohen that doesn't have mercy or doesn't love the people, or the people, right, the congregation doesn't have mercy or doesn't love him, he shouldn't go to the Duchan. Right? But, okay, fine. But it seems to be like this is like it's a din, it's a law from the mitzvah. So if that's the halacha, why that was inside the bracha? And we can explain. Hashem created the world, right? דין הקדוש ברוך הוא ברא את העולם, בכל אופן שכל סדר הבריאה על ידי משפיע ומקבל. And Hashem created the world with a giver and a receiver, right? And the same way that the creation of men and all the other creatures is by the influencer, the provider, the broadcaster, right? The one that gives the influencer and the receiver. So also the plant, right, is a receiver, and he's giving, right? The plant is giving the sun, is giving fruits, the rain, right, and the sun. Everything is like influencing, and the land is actually receiving it, and by that it's grow things. And the connection between all the creatures, from the influencer and the receiver, is by the midah of ahava. Right? And it says also in Tehillim, Ki amarti olam chesed yibaneh. Hashem said, I will create a world of kindness, chesed. That the entire creation of the world, binyan haolam, is by the midah of ahava. And that's the connection between the influencer to the receiver. So the same way on the gashmiot, the same way on the spiritualism. Only by a mashpia or mekabel. This is what it says in Hebrew. Mashpia is the influencer and the mekabel is the receiver. And a person couldn't have any type of spiritual achievement if he doesn't have an influencer. He cannot bring it from himself. On a certain level, yes, but not really the main thing. And the connection between the mashpia and the mekabel is by love. And this is what we're bringing on the bracha. Because truly, indeed, the whole inyan of the bracha is above nature. Because if we said, Yevachecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, it's talking about things that you need blessing in them. In supernatural, above the nature. And the bracha is also mevarchim shabracha tishmor otcha, will protect you. Because the strength of the bracha is the influence that comes from heaven. Again, influencer and receiver, we are the receiver. And by having the influencer, the mashpia, then he brings the shefa elyon, the wealth that's coming from heaven, which is not natural, right? It's above, it's coming from Shamayim to the blessed one. And also we found the bracha with the avot hagedoshim, right? That the bracha that Avram gave Yitzchak, and the bracha that Yitzchak gave Yaakov, and Yaakov gave the bracha to his sons. And this is what it says in the bracha that Yitzchak gave to Yaakov, right? Prior to that, like he gave him like some kind of a condition, you know, cook me gourmet food, right? Aseli mat'amim, right? And after that, it says, come here, my son, and kiss me, right? Why? Why he needs that? To awaken the level, the midah of ahava to him. So because he wants to give him a proper bracha, he wants to increase the love between them, the mashpia and the mekabel. In the same way, on individual level, we have a receiver, us, and a giver, right, at Hashem. In all the creation, it's the same thing, like for individual, for the creation, and also in Avodat Hashem, in us as nation, right? Hashem made the mashpia, the influencer, which is Aaron HaKohen, because he was Oev Shalom, Verodef Shalom, Oev et Habriot, right? He was running after the Shalom, he was bringing people to the Torah, he was making peace between people that were fighting, right, etc. And the Kedusha of Aaron is coming from his level of Ahava, from the middle of Ahava. And this is the connection, the tied between him and us. And that is the whole inyan of the Birkat Kohanim that Hashem gave Israel, to withdraw, to bring the Shefa and the blessing and everything by having that sanctify of the Kedusha of Aaron by love. And therefore it says, that's like the main trigger. And that's the source of the strength, of the power of the Kohanim. That's like the nuclear reactor, is Aaron HaKohen. That his Kedusha bringing Shefa to the Klal Israel and to his sons. And you too, Mordechai, have a relation, right, until Aaron, right? And that's why prior to the brachot, we have the love mentioned, because that's the yesod, that's the foundation of the Kohanim. And specifically, shayach inyan bracha b'neinim v'chanim, right? So that's also, not also, but that's like the main thing, that the bracha is in the spiritual thing, which is really above nature. Because the purpose of us bringing down to this world is so we should get a higher spiritual level, specifically here in this world, of getting closer and right, kirva with vekut, right, cleaving to Hashem. As it says in the Mesilat Yesharim, right, so Rachmal said that the purpose that Hashem created us is for us to get to the level of getting pleasure from Hashem and enjoy his ziv, his glory of the Shekhinah. But Hashem put us here in this world with obstacles and nisyonot and things that we need to work, right? There's no free lunch here in this world. So we need to do that. So he said, all of these things are actually trying to keep us away from Hashem. Because it says everything that we do that is belong to this world, and we don't do it for Shem Shamayim or thinking about it, eating, drinking, working, etc., they're all taking us away from the target, from the matara, which is have pleasure on Hashem, right? To enjoy from Hashem and to enjoy his glory of the Shekhinah. And the Torah and the mitzvot are actually the means that come to help us. They're assisting us in this world. And Hashem gave us the Torah. But on top of it, Hashem gave us with his mercy the Birkat Kohanim, which is the Shefa Yored Al Yedei HaMashpia, which is coming from the giver, from the influencer every day, that the Jew should have this bracha. And that will help us to get closer to Hashem and to cleave with the Shekhinah. And the same way we found the same connection to the Rav, right? That we have a Rav, he be nominated or whatever, if it is a hired Rav, or if it's a Rabbanim, like, the Gedolim that unfortunately we lost in the last few years, like Rabbi Steinman and Rabbi Kanievsky, right, and Rabbi Eliashiv. They were not were elected or hired thing. They just were Gedolim in Torah, and the people naturally got close to them. And that's the thing. That's even the best thing. So this is the same way that people were mitkasher, were getting connection to these Rabbanim. right? Because they're bringing the shefa elyon, the wealth that's coming from heaven. And that's the source of the bracha. And that's the netina, that's the giving to us. And this is the content of the brachot. Yevachecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. That Chazal mentioned few perushim, right? What we mentioned. That he said that Hashem will bless you with all the things which are gashmiut and the ruchanim. Hashem will give you bracha. Val ishmerecha, our sages says in the Midrash that this is from the mazikim, from the demons. He will protect you from that. So the same way that in the gashmim there is a mazikin, right? Thieves, crooks, whatever. Some way there is a spiritual thieves that trying to steal our spiritualism. And also that we find about the Torah, which is the holiest thing. And even so, right, it says in Chazal that, yeah, the Torah is a very, very kadosh thing, but for this person, it can be the drug of life, and for the other person, it can be poison. Right, the same Torah, the same Dusha. So he said also in Kadosh, we need to be protected from the mazikin. In the same way that we're asking on the rain, should be for blessing and not for cursing, right? Because if the rain will come not on its time, then the farmer will not be able to or let's say he will miss the train, and he will not going to have any fruits later on, or croft, whatever, right? Or if the rain will be too strong, it can destroy everything. So the rain is the source of the bracha, but then the question is when it's going to come. God says all the brachas in the Torah was supposed to be on the rain, which is the greatest one. Because rain, Geshem, it could be Gashmir, but also spiritualism. And also in the Torah, in all Nine Avoda, if we have right Avoda is like davening or learning. So if we're mixing some bad kavanot, we're not aiming to the right direction, then it can be poison, chas v'chalila. So for that, we need a bracha that will be protecting us from the mazikin. Yair Hashem panav elecha v'yichuneka. We can explain according to what the Maran Admor Baal Bet Avraham Zechuto Gelanu says. Right? It says it's a piyut that when the Jew have the light, right, the spiritual light, then in front of his eyes, then suddenly he realized that all this world, all these things, all the desires and everything, and the yearning for something which is negative, it's just darkness. It's nothing, because they're not real reality. Because our soul is from the world of pleasure, right? Because always seeking every day is just to enjoy, to have. Not enjoy to have fun with something, but nobody likes to suffer. And we like to have good life, but it's been diverted maybe to the wrong places. So we're asking from Hashem to really help us that He should give us the ability to feel the connection to Hashem. When we have a connection to Hashem, that's the real pleasure. But in the meantime, we're looking in other places. And on the bracha, Isa Hashem panav elecha, mefarash in the Midrash, that Hashem will overlook his anger, will pass the anger from us, right? And he said this is like you need a great bracha for that Hashem will not be angry at Israel, not furious. So he says, I'm asking a question. Right? Asher lo yisa panim. There is a psukim that Hashem will not overlook, right? I don't know if you know this word protectia. What is protectia? So protectia is coming from Russia, and protectia means that, let's say that you need to you want to have a telephone line in your home, right? I'm talking about, like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, especially in Russia. You want to have a telephone line at home, a landline. So you need to go to the office and fill up paperwork. And then, I'm not joking, and then it says, okay, now let's say it's June 2022. Okay, would you like the technician to come in morning or afternoon in January 2029? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Ronald Reagan once said that it's that kind of a joke, that he said that the guy was coming to the office to get a landline, and they told him okay, you have the technician will come to you 2029 on June 2nd. So the guy was asking the guy who said, will he come in the morning or will he come in the evening? The guy said, why do you care? It's like 9 years from now. He said, no, because I have the plumber. The plumber is coming in the morning. It's not a joke. So what is protectia? If you know the guy in the office is your friend or you give him something, then you're not going to wait because he's going to put you in the the top of the line. If you don't know anyone over there, then you need to wait 7 years, 10 years to have a landline. But if you have protectia, you know somebody, then you don't need it, right? You don't need to wait. So this is a sign, and it said, Hashem will not give you protectia. It said, Asher lo yisa panim, Hashem will not overlook. So how come we have the Birkat Kohanim said, Hisa Hashem panav elecha? It's contradicting. But the explanation is because of the bracha of the Kohanim, that they bring that bracha from that Hashem Hisa panav elecha, which means Hashem will pass the anger from us. But truly said, according to the book, really when Hashem is supposed to get angry on certain things, right? Metaphorically. But this is supernatural that we bring it by the bracha. And because of that, we have the shefa coming from heaven. And this is the Birkat Kohanim that Hashem gave us as a present to his people. So we can keep our dveikut with Hashem and to hold on, right? All the fortress, right? With all the inyanim that we really need bracha, because truly, living this world and surviving it, it's not simple, it's not easy. So Hashem helping us with that, with the bracha. So also on the spiritual level, again, with the influencer and the receiver. And also we can say furthermore, when it says, Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'asem lecha shalom, shalom is love, right? Peace is love. And the level of love, the middle of Ahava, it's like he said, it's a koach mufla, it's a wonder. And it's a key to all the things that are above nature. And the way our sages said in Bereshit Rabbah, Ahava mekalkelet et hashura, and also it says, Mishle kol psheim techaseh ahava, right? When you love somebody, and he's doing something which you're not supposed to do, then because you love him, then you forgive him. Yeah, you can be upset, you can be disappointed, etc., but you still love him. You're overlooking it. And our sages said that anyone that is do tshuva from love, then his zedonot, right, his sin that he did deliberately became merits, but only if you do it from love, not from punishment, fear of the punishment, which is a great level even to do with the fear of the punishment to do tshuva, but doing it because you love Hashem and you want to please him, then all the sins will become merit. And also the Ahava and Shalom between Israel, right, between us. It says, V'ahavta l'ra'acha kamocha, right, we should love our Jews, right, fellow, like ourselves. That's a klal gadol, it's a mighty great rule in the Torah. And our sages said that the real way or the path to get into love Hashem, which this is what we should have, is by loving Israel, loving each other. And this is another explanation for Hisa Hashem panav alecha v'asem lecha shalom. Because naturally, we don't like some people, or Hashem doesn't like, or Hashem is angry. But there is another path above nature, and that's the level of Ahava. If you have love, then we will accept. And also including in that what it says in Torah Avot, that if we're accepting with love how Hashem is behaving with us, is ruling, in any way that he rule, then it will be midah keneged midah. Then also Hashem will accepting us how we're behaving with him. And this is again explanation of Hisa Hashem panav elecha v'asem lecha shalom, that Hashem will overlook, because by the book we're supposed to get kick in the head, but we don't, because Hashem loves us. And he says in the Midrash Metaretz, she'en Israel osim retzono shel makom, when we don't do Hashem will, then he will not overlook, he will not hisa panim. And when we do Hashem's will, then hisa panim. And we should say, it's hinted in be'osin retzono shel makom, like we do Hashem's will, which means, after all, it's like, it doesn't sound making sense. If we do Hashem will, then of course we're going in the right path. So we don't have any sins. So he's not talking about that. He's talking about whatever we do, sins or not, it's just accepting with love what Hashem bring to us. Could be chas v'chalila, negative things. And even with the negative, we should bless Hashem and say, thank you, Hashem. Thank you. I know it's for my own good. I don't feel it. I suffer. I'm in pain or whatever, but thank you, Hashem. So
it could always be worse.
Exactly. So we said, thank you, Hashem. So that's osim retzono shel makom, accepting it with love. Because truly, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on in the big plan. So without doing that, we're opening the gates in heaven, which is above nature. ושמו את שמי בני ישראל, right? And they put my name or בני ישראל, and I will bless them. And Rashi explained, I will bless Israel, and I will agree with the Kohanim, and they can put my name on them. Because the name of Hashem is Shalom, right? And ועל ידי אהבה ושלום, are bringing love and peace, we're waking up, and we're bringing Hashem to agree with the blessing, and He will bless us. And the opposite of Shalom, dispute, machlokot, etc., that's bringing dinim. But Ahava and peace, they're waking up the love and the bracha above nature and everything. This is so significant about the bracha of the Kohanim and Aaron, and it's very important. I know that there were Gedolim like Rav Steinman and others that when they used to travel outside Israel, because in Israel, even the Ashkenazim do every day Birkat Kohanim in Israel, then he used to look for a Sephardic minyan for just to hear the Birkat Kohanim. And since, a happy Corona time, when we started the outdoor minyan, then we came back into shul. Then every day in Pasek, we have Birkat Kohanim in Armenian, every day. Baruch Hashem. And that's bringing the
But
Shefa.
you said outside, of course?
No. It
What?
started with the outside when he had the outdoor minyan because we couldn't go inside.
Right.
So we established our own minyan every day. And since Corona started, now we have Birkat Kohanim every day in Pasek, even today. Because we came back to shul and we continue the minyan. So we have 3 tefillot a day and Birkat Kohanim every day in Pasek. And we have we have people actually that coming, they're sneaking into our minyan after during the Chazara and Shmonaseh, just to be in the room, the same room, to hear the Birkat Kohanim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you only do it at Chakras and Musav?
Yeah. Or Ta'anit Tzibur. If you have like a Tisha B'Av, Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, then Mincha you do also Birkat Kohanim.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how do you feel when you're up there, Mordechai? Are we
It's
allowed to
great.
ask?
Feel like I'm in control.
Yeah? Are you loving everybody in the room?